couple of years ago, we knew that we wanted to move into the multifamily space because we knew that we were hitting burnout. You know, we don't want to be landlords. We have other businesses and full-time jobs and all these houses, and Tony goes to most of them frequently. So I manage them and he takes care of them. But we couldn't figure out we didn't know what the secret sauce was. We would look at them and we would crunch the numbers and we would try to figure out, like, if you're either this big guy that can do these things or you can't do it. Yeah. And so we couldn't crack the code. We couldn't figure out how to get in until we figured it out.
Well, we were looking at it through the lens of single family purchases. So we were looking at it from that perspective of, okay, so we've got to qualify for a loan. It's going to be whatever, $4 million. And then there's all this stuff. And it's like, how do you do that? Like because we didn't have pockets to do that. Yeah. Obviously, if you're independently wealthy, but if you're independently wealthy, like, well, maybe you're not going to bother with that, you know, because you've already got the money. Right. So we were trying to figure out how to get there. And then we found, I don't really know how we figured out or found the multifamily, this sort of syndicating space you and I met. Yeah. All I know is we went to one event and then we spoke to one of Kathleen's clients and they said, go to this other event. And then we went to that event and then we signed up. And then like a month later, we met you guys. So that was from when we finally said, we're going to go to one of these events to when we finally met you guys was maybe a 2-month period.
Really? That's short.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, you know, if we have to ask right now, anybody that is like, oh, what did it change the most? And I think everybody will say the same thing. Probably you guys are agreed is the mindset or something that we never thought it was possible because it's such a large numbers, right? We're talking about multi-million-dollar things and leverage each other's other people's money and raise capital and managing all that stuff is like so much, right? You know, and out there we done a couple. It is like, man, it was just amazing.
Well,
mind
it's
shift.
Doable.
Yeah.
And when you see that that code can be cracked, it's not a complicated code,
right?
But it requires work and effort and skills and courage, right? And so I think, you know, for us, like we met you guys, and it's like, oh, you know, there's other elements to the game, right? Because it's a big game, right? And you need to have a lot of different talents and a lot of different types of people in order to make a complete team, right? And so I think Kat and I first, we kind of talked one day, and I forget, maybe it was on a drive home from Dallas at one of the events, and we were thinking like, well, what's our superpower? And we said, let's just put together what our superpower is, and then that's what we go talk to people about is our superpower, because somebody's going to need somebody like us. And then we got introduced to you guys, and it's like, hey, and then it was like, you know, that you guys were already in the air in your airplane, and so we just kind of like jumped on.
Yeah, you guys' superpower is it? No, man. It's look, we all, and one thing about you guys that we're working a project together, and you guys, I haven't got goosebumps to talk about, but you guys, it's the ones that show up and they're there for whatever, for better, for worse. It's almost because, you know, when you're forming those relationships and those partnerships, it's like a marriage.
Waking up to success, now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on gourmet coffee, the real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.